Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose, and I'm here to share your daily aspects. Today is Wednesday, May 18, 2022. Sun in Taurus for a few more days. This has been a time of growth, of becoming grounded in what is familiar, knowing what sustains us and drawing in those resources where we can. This final week of the Sun's transit in Taurus may bring an intensification for us of these themes of what we need and how we get it, so be aware of that. As the Sun moves toward the exit, Uranus remains in Taurus until 2026, so the shakeups in our supply chain are far from over. Uranus encourages a certain amount of flexibility. North Node also remains transiting in Taurus through July of next year, keeping us habitually focused on the gathering of material resources for our own security and stability. I have a feeling by the time we get there, we'll be very good at it. The moon starts in Sagittarius today, making ingress to Capricorn this morning. The waning gibbous moon in Capricorn helps us set goals regarding what can be eliminated and how we plan to do it. For now, we envision the plan for decrease, and then we can begin to actively release stuff with the third quarter moon this Sunday. I'm going to get right into the aspects, but first I will point out the handcrafted key on the right-hand side of the page. Most of the symbols on the page have made it into the key, so if you desire a point of reference, it's right here. I've otherwise divided the page into two columns, one for each of our luminaries. The moon is the luminary that sheds light on our inner lives. This is your relationship with yourself, what it feels like for you to be in your body, heart, and mind, and in your home. The transits and aspects that the moon makes are all very brief, and they have a subtle impact on those things we think, feel, know, and intuit, but may choose whether to express. The sun is the luminary that sheds light on our outer lives. This is the outward expression of yourself in the world, specifically in your work, social, and civic spaces. And I address the sun and the rest of the planet's movements on this side because they have more to do with that outward expression. And we begin on the moon side today, Central Standard Time, friends, at 7:02 this morning. Moon makes ingress to Capricorn. Moon in Capricorn urges us to recall that we have responsibilities, goals, and commitments, and now is the time to put our heads down and do the work. This is a 2.5 day transit. Then at 9:21 this morning, Moon goes square to Jupiter. Cancer, Sagittarius, and Pisces would be the most likely to notice this vibe. We have decadent and generous hearts when the moon and Jupiter get together. In fact, it would be easy to overindulge ourselves or someone else. Be careful not to create an imbalance out of a simple desire to share what you have. On the sun side today in the ongoing column, yesterday, Mars went conjunct to Neptune. These two planets are conjunct through the 21st, lending us the drive to act on what we perceive. The question is, what do you habitually perceive with your creative mind? What do you normally imagine? If you're the kind of person who regularly imagines that people are unkind, you may become paranoid and start to act on that paranoia. And if you're the kind of person who regularly imagines that the world is a kind place full of people with good intentions, then you can become sympathetic to others and start to act from that place of compassion. This is why it's important to train ourselves to have an optimistic and loving outlook in life. Our unconscious biases can make all the difference when we are spurred into action. And then through May 22nd, Sun sextile Neptune. As always, this transit applies to everyone, but Taurus, Leo, and Pisces are the most likely to notice. This is positive cooperative functioning right here between our consciousness and our capacity to connect energetically with others. We can be quite psychic at this time, so write down your predictions. This is also a good time to create from the imagination. And then through May 23rd, Sun is square to Saturn, Taurus, Leo, Capricorn, Aquarius. Our responsibilities may rub us the wrong way at this time, or perhaps something keeps happening to stop us in the fulfillment of our duties. In any case, we must prevail doing what we said we would do, because this is how we gain trust in ourselves and from other people. Square energy here can feel like it's trying to stop us, but it's really there to remind us of what we are resolved to do and to spur us into action. Mercury sextile Jupiter is here with us through May 28. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. This is an opportunity to review the expanded plans that we've made for our own growth and increase. The big plan is probably going to include a lot of smaller plans, and these smaller bites can be attended to, especially if you've already set your intentions in place before the Mercury retrograde. Just look ahead, try to do things in a good order so that there isn't one piece holding the rest of them back. Mercury is retrograde through June 3rd. The apparent backward motion of our planet for analysis and communications can bring about shakeups in our ability to say what we mean and get where we're going. These things are often less easy for us at this time, so go slow, friends. Be patient with yourself and others. Consider it an opportunity to practice Mercury's less direct skills, like watching and waiting for the right moment to move. Sun sextile Mars will remain in aspect through June 4. Aries, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio have ruling planets here. This influence wants us to feel alive and juiced up with the energy to act, to pursue, to satisfy our physical drives, lending us power and speed in the forward direction of the stuff that we seek to achieve. I think this one is ideal for this big picture, small bites approach. Mars wants to complete a simple, straightforward task and keep moving. And the Sun in a sextile position here is cooperating to hold our focus on those short-term goals that add up to pull the longer-term goals together. Mercury trine Pluto is with us through June 19. Gemini, Virgo, and Scorpio, let us know your experience here. The guidance here is to pay close attention or listen in a deep way to what our senses are telling us about the endings and beginnings that are coming up and those that are already present in our lives. Pay attention to your intuitive impressions at this time. They can be useful in strategizing your approach to the big changes. And Pluto is also retrograde through October 8th. So Pluto is retrograde 6 months out of the year and direct 6 months out of the year. This is Pluto's final retrograde in Capricorn after Pluto has been transiting Capricorn for the last 25 years or so. Pluto is almost done bringing deep and total change to our institutions and traditions. What worked back then often no longer works in the new world, and we're not yet done going through these changes, these shifts in our notions of what will work to get the job done. This is also a time when the things that don't work, like bad habits, toxicity in our relationships, or poor money management, will be painfully clear to us. Not to worry, friends, we have loads of initiative, momentum, and power on our side at this time. The transformations are upon us, and with a little planning, we can see our way through them. Tomorrow, the Sun goes sextile to Pluto, bringing the healing light of day to something deeply held. This Friday, Sun makes ingress to Gemini, bringing our focus around to our ability to share and communicate. And did I say this Sunday? That was this Friday. Sun makes ingress to Gemini. And then this Sunday, we'll see that third quarter moon in Pisces, and Mercury in retrograde will back itself up and make ingress into Taurus again. Okay, friends, that's it for today's astrology. Thank you all so much for joining me. Please like my video, click the notifications bell, subscribe to my channel. I post here every day, and I wouldn't want you to miss a thing. And friends, I truly appreciate it when you comment to ask questions and provide encouragement. I am encouraged. I appreciate your attention to the matter. And it isn't just gratifying for me to know that you're listening, but it lets YouTube know that you're engaged in the content, and that's helpful as well. Also, if you know anyone else for whom this guidance might resonate, I encourage you to share. Now I'm going to take a couple of minutes to talk about Tarot as it relates to astrology today. First, I'm going to discuss the Tarot card that sits on the side of the page, and then I'll do a quick rundown of today's astrology before throwing a random card that hopefully speaks to today's energies. So let's go ahead and get into that. The Tarot card that sits on the side of the page right now is the Seven of Pentacles, and this relates directly to the last 10 days of the Sun's transit through Taurus. So the Sun has been transiting through Taurus for nearly a month now. This Friday it's going to make ingress to Gemini, but right now it's in Taurus. Taurus is an earth sign. Pentacles is the earth in the Tarot, so that's kind of the link up there. When we change over to air, then we'll get Swords, which is the air suit of Tarot. Anyway, the Seven of Pentacles, earth, all of that symbolism has to do with our physical possessions and resources in our life. So your body, how well is your body, and how well do you keep it to the best of your ability? And also the things that you have, do you have nice things, and do you keep them nice so they retain their value? And also your wealth and your finances. So how are you handling your literal coins, your literal gold, which is what we exchange, or your literal cash or money, monetary value, which is what we exchange for the material resources, the goods and services that we require to feel supported and secure in the world. So this has been a time of growing support and security. Sort of allegorically, we took some seeds and we sprouted them and we put them in the soil. And here we gave them soil and we gave them plenty of water and plenty of sunlight and plenty of our attention, right? And we watched them grow into something that will soon have value. And this can be, this can be your literal garden, or this can be just the plans that you're making for yourself for your own personal growth in life, right? So in this season, we have put down our roots so that we feel secure. We have drawn on the resources. That's what Taurus does. Taurus is ruled by Venus, so it's about receiving material resources. So we've drawn on all the resources. We've grown strong. We're almost ready to step up to that next level of value. We are almost ready to, harvest the fruit of our labor and get the benefit of it. But we cannot yet do that, okay? This represents a time where we've already put in a lot of hard work, and through perseverance and vigilance, diligence, we have managed to grow something that's going to have value for us, but the work is not yet done. It is not time to enjoy the fruits of your labor just yet. There's still a little bit more work to be done, and in fact, it's time to focus in the efforts to make sure that the plan, the growth that we have been working on has value for us when we're done and ready to enjoy the fruits of our labor. So not yet time to kick back and relax and enjoy what you have done. Still takes some attention, some time, and some effort. And that's the thing that we need to focus on at this time, is our material resources. Keep attending those material resources. Keep attending your pentacles, counting your pennies, making your plans, and trying to make wise choices with the material resources that you have, and soon your plan will come into fruition and will have a lot of value for you. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle some cards while I remind myself that the Sun is in Taurus, ruled by Venus. It's all about receiving the material resources that we need in order to feel secure and to grow strong and to thrive in the world. So Taurus likes a pretty steady flow of reliable resources from a reliable source, but Uranus has been in Taurus for a couple years now and will continue to be in Taurus for a few more years. And Uranus says, your sources are not that reliable. You're going to have to become flexible about what you need, about how you get it, where you get it, how much you're going to pay for it, right? This is something we've definitely been going through over the past couple of years, and we've learned to become flexible with it. Now, North Node in January came into Taurus and will be there until July of next year. And North Node makes a sort of very focused and driven toward the receipt of those material resources that we need. So even with Uranus there changing up the landscape, North Node is there to say, yeah, if it's something I need, I'm going to go after it. I'm going to do what I have to do to get it. It's not a big deal. And then on the moon side of the page, we've got this waning gibbous moon, just a few days past the full, moving out of Scorpio and into Capricorn. So not Scorpio, but Sagittarius into Capricorn. Sagittarius is a very explorative, adventurous sign. When the moon is in Sagittarius, our own hearts are a little more adventurous and seeking of new learning and new truth out in the world. But then Capricorn reminds us that we have goals and plans and commitments, in the heart and home even, that we're working on, and we have to actually get to work on them. So on the moon side today, moon went into Capricorn early this morning and said, okay, you know what you need to do, now go ahead and get to work. And then, in the middle of the morning here at around 9:20, moon goes square to Jupiter, and it says, we might be in a celebratory mood. Maybe we're sort of counting our expression ahead of time, or counting our expression, yes, counting the value of our plans ahead of time. We want to celebrate a little bit. That's fine. Try not to overindulge yourself. Try not to overindulge anybody else. Try not to create an imbalance there. And then on the sun side of the page, it's all ongoing, and clearly there's a whole lot going on. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on with the sun. This is the sun-dominated time of year. The days are longer right now than the nights are, so we expect for there to be a lot going on when it comes to the sun and the planets that are close to the sun. And the sun itself, sextile Neptune, says we are conscious of subtle vibes. We're able to trust what our senses are telling us. Our subtle senses, our creative and imaginative senses, we can trust what they're saying. We can put them to work for us. And then, Mars is also conjunct Neptune right now. So, Neptune is saying, yes, you're sensitive to that, and we tend to act on what we are sensitive to at this time. So, the only thing I would say is that with that creativity and imagination, sometimes Neptune allows us to be deceived, or allows us to sort of lie to ourselves about things. So check your facts when you're going to act on something that you sense about the world around you or the people around you. Go ahead and check your facts, ask some questions before you go ahead and act, so that you don't act the fool. And then Sun is square to Saturn right now. This is just a reminder, attend your responsibilities. Things might slow you down. Mercury is retrograde. Things might get in your way or make you feel like you want to stop, but that is just to remind you of your resolve to get done the things that you have committed to doing. Saturn rules Capricorn, okay? So get to work, attend your responsibilities, all right? Just go ahead and do it because you're an adult and you said you would. And then the sun is sextile to Mars down here, so you got this Sun sextile Neptune, Mars conjunct Neptune, Sun sextile Mars. Focus on the initiative that comes from this sensory receptiveness that we've had that helps us act on what we can sense. Okay, so focus on your initiative. This is great in conjunction together with the Mercury sextile Jupiter too, because Mercury sextile Jupiter says there is a bigger plan, but you're going to have to execute 100 smaller plans to get halfway to that bigger plan, right? So that's great because the sun sextile with Mars here says we're focused and we're working together to take action on executing the plan. And Mars really likes to do a simple, straightforward action and then move on. And so it's good to break that plan into little bite-sized chunks and then give your initiative that to focus on. Mercury is in retrograde. Less talking, more listening, okay? Don't commit, but do plan and learn. And then Mercury is in a trine aspect with Pluto. Mercury and Pluto are both retrograde, okay? Trust your insights at this time. That gives you great vision with your brain, with your analytic capacity into your own gut, into your own even subconscious. You can kind of see what's coming up there and intuit what it means for you. So trust your insights at this time. be conscious of those subtle vibes and act on them. Pluto is retrograde. Be conscious that you're going through interchanges, and the actions that you take on the things that you sense, okay, and the actions that you take on the plans that you're trying to unfold here are going to have an emotional and intuitive impact deep inside. Okay, so this is the reminder to listen to what's going on inside, because if any part of this plan or any part of these actions are not aligned with what's going on the inside, then this isn't going to work for you. Okay, you've got to be inner and outer aligned in terms of what you want, what you're trying to get out of the situation, the plan, or wherever it is that you're going. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn over this card. Okay, we have the Five of Swords. So first I'm going to say Pentacles and Swords. We have Earth and Air. We have our physical resources and our intellectual capacity, right? And right now, Mercury, our intellectual capacity, our analytic capacity right now is in retrograde. So there might be a tendency to sort of pick fights or choose battles that we wouldn't normally choose at this time. Partly because, when we do less talking and more listening, sometimes we hear things that we didn't want to hear, right? And we become defensive, or we become assertive about, like, I don't ever want to hear that again, or I don't want to have to deal with this at all, right? The Five of Swords sort of indicates that you have the strength to fight for what you think is important, and it is important to be willing to fight for what you think is important. However, fighting just because you can win a battle is not necessarily the best reason to fight. Just because you can win does not mean that you're necessarily right. And if you can win the battle, but you haven't made any friends, and you're left to sort of clean up the mess, and you're kind of on your own at that point, then what did you really win? And that's what always comes to mind with me for the Five of Swords. But the Five of Swords is definitely like starting fights that you can win, standing up for what you believe in, but sometimes sort of losing support because you did it. And taken together with the Seven of Pentacles, you've put a lot of work into the growth that you've been engaged in. You've put a lot of work into putting down roots, feeling secure, trying to feel well resourced in this world, even in this world of changing sources and resources, right? And that can be a battle, just getting the stuff that you want and need these days. We all have to fight a little bit. We all have to hustle a little bit more to make sure that our material needs are getting met. And one of the things that you can do in the name of hustle is to choose your battles a little bit more wisely, right? We don't want to be picking fights today with somebody whose help or whose service or whose products we might need tomorrow. And I think that's all I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate you being here. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today.